Hey, Ashley. What's up, girl? You're on mute, kid.
Lady.
Hey, yo. I got something that belongs to you here.
Who? What? Oh, look at cute.
Lovely assistant.
Not me.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's here too.
Fuck that.
I love Kleiny. You can be here, Klein.
Thank you.
We all love him.
Someone understands me.
All right, so we'll give it a few more minutes, see who else shows up. So far. See, look, you can see participants down here. Right? At least on the laptop. On the phone, it's a little bit different. You can click just to see who's joined. We just shot some bishop flows and leg lock flows.
Ooh.
Hey, how are you, buddy? Leland.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
All right.
All right, we're going to give it a few minutes and see who else joins, okay?
All right. Basically, it's just like class, except I don't have as much room.
Yeah, there you go. Do you, answer me this, do you have a backpack with you today?
I've got one in my room.
You have a backpack with, does it have some books in it?
It's got all my school supplies in it, which is pretty heavy.
Why don't you grab that? Maybe we can figure out a way you can work out with that, all right? Go ahead and grab that real quick. Zach, what's up, bud?
Hey, not much. What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. Just ready to rock and roll.
Feel you on that.
Cool. So we'll give a few more minutes for some other people to jump on. So if I get a bunch of similar people to what we had last night, I'm going to cover something different. But if not, I'm going to cover what we covered last night, just some basic solo movement drills that I think will make everybody's game a lot better. All right? So we'll hang out for a few minutes and then go from there. Zach, do you have a place that you can move, or are you more just watching today?
Yeah, I got a spot to move.
I got a little bit of room to move, but I'm just moving my sister's couch here right now.
I got you, Leland. Zach, what about you?
Yeah, I got some room to move.
Okay. If you have a backpack that you can put some weight or a kettlebell or something like that, you might want to grab that too.
All right, let me see what I can get.
Ashley, are you sore from last night's rucksack workout?
My legs are a little sore, but I did the mace bell, so my arms are dead today.
Oh,
I saw her doing mace, dude. That was
yeah.
oh.
I know, it's crazy. Hey. I'm just making sure, man. All right, cool. All right, let's get going. I'm going to mute everybody while I'm teaching.
Okay.
And then I will, it's like Austin joined us too.
Oh, there it is.
Austin, hey guys. You guys, were you guys at class last night? Austin, you jumped in for a little bit, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm going to cover the same things we did last night, just give some more practice to some of the newer people that joined us, all right? I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys while I show the technique, and then we'll, then we'll make sure that you can hear me, though. If you guys can't hear me, let me know, and then I'll unmute you guys for questions, all right?
Cool.
Okay. Let's try to get my lovely picture up here. Okay, there we go.
I'll try to.
All right, so we're going to start with a warm-up. One thing I like to do Obviously, we can't do a super active warm-up today. So we're going to do a typical noon class warm-up. All right. First thing we do is just stand and rotate our necks. Good. Switch. Arm circles. Backwards. Good. Hugs. Side to side twists. The hips. Good directions. Okay, so now I want your knees just slightly bent, a little wider than shoulder width apart. Okay, we're just gonna cross our arms and go down and just hang. As you're hanging here and you feel your hamstrings start to loosen up, slowly rock back and forth. Then you can start to straighten your legs a little bit as you do this. This is a good flow to go through like in the morning when you wake up, just get your body moving. Okay, now hands to the floor, feet wider apart. All right, now I want you to break at the knees side to side, keeping your toes pointed forward. Now I want you to point one toe up. Should stretch out the hamstring a little bit more. All right. Now hands on the floor. We're just going to do some stiffness, warm up a little bit. Good. Now feet down, knees together, kind of like or not knees together, one foot to your knee, other foot out, the omoplata position. If you aren't on mute, try to mute yourself a little bit so I can I'll make sure that the video sounds clear to everybody. Okay? All we're going to do right now is stretch out over the bent knee. And switch. And switch. When you switch, try not to use your hands. If you have to, that's okay. But get used to not using your hand. And switch again. This time we're going to switch, and then we're going to rock up. Push your hips forward. Superman position, like. Hold it. Sit back. Switch. Come up. Hold it. You look like a nice swimming couple. Back. Switch. Hold. And switch. Hold. Good. Now I want everybody to grab underneath the legs. Okay, and I just want you to kind of rock back and forth like this, just kind of waking up your spine a little bit. All right, now let's switch the angle. Now we're going to rock back and hold. Okay? You can use your hand from the back on your lower back to support yourself. That's fine. The goal is ultimately to try to get your feet to the floor and hold it there. And then when we come up, we'll come up into a straddle stretch. So I want everyone to rock back, okay, and hold. Oh, one other thing too is we have a wall, and you can use it. I'm mad at you, Leland. You're not going to leave marks on your wall, so like spouse or roommate gets upset. You can use a wall to create a position. So if I go back, I can use a wall to hold it. I can walk my feet down the wall as I get more and more comfortable. Okay, but for now, we're going to rock back and hold. Come forward into straddle. You can stretch it down the middle, go to the sides, whatever's most comfortable.
Oh, come back down. Open your legs and then go to the side.
And when you rock back, it's an uncomfortable position, like most of the positions in jiu-jitsu, so really try to focus in on your breathing. Okay, so now I'm going to rock back, hold. Come forward and straddle.
Back down.
And then rock back. One more time. Forward and straddle. Okay. The goal of at least right now, my primary goal in these sessions drills are solo drills, which are kind of most of the time we have partners and we're not solo drills. These are drills that you injured and you need to kind of heal your body. They're also when you're not training for it. We're going to build a basis of those drills and coming together as the weeks go on. Okay? Let me see if I could get everybody on mute. I don't think I have everybody on mute. Okay, that's better. Okay. The first thing we're going to work on is a bridge. Okay. If you've wrestled before, you're really familiar with the wrestling bridge, which Armando, show them a wrestling bridge real quick. The wrestling bridge is on your head. It's great to build neck strength, but it's also important in wrestling because you need to keep your shoulders off the ground to get pinned. I do use that bridge for one instance in jiu-jitsu, and we'll cover that, but the primary bridge in jiu-jitsu is on your shoulders. So Armando, just show a sample shoulder bridge. Yeah, over the side. We're usually going side to side in jiu-jitsu, okay? Bridging is a very important part. Now, when I bridge in jiu-jitsu, okay? I'm going to move off the screen. There's a couple things that I want to do. Actually, I'll show you from this angle first, right? First, I never want to bridge straight up because if Armando's mounted on me and I'm bridging straight up in the air, now I'm carrying his weight. Okay, that does a couple things. One, if he locks his feet behind me, now my hips can't move and they're stuck. Okay, let's switch positions real quick. So you can see it from this side. So if I bridge straight up here, I'm going directly against his weight. And if he locks his feet underneath me, now my hips are stuck. I can't move them. Okay? What I want to do is I don't want to carry weight in jiu-jitsu. I want to displace his weight. I want to shift it around. I want to off-balance it. Okay? So when I bridge in jiu-jitsu, one of the first things that I do is point my knees out to the area I'm going to bridge to, right? So I'm displacing weight this way and coming up over my shoulder, right? From this side, my knees are going out, and I'm displacing the weight and coming up onto my shoulder. Once again, my knees are coming out, I'm displacing the weight and going up on my shoulder. So if Armando's on top of me, when I start to bridge, okay, instead of going straight up and carrying his weight and getting myself stuck, I'm going to turn and I'm going to displace his weight. You see what that does to his balance? It also starts to widen his knees, okay? Switch directions. So if we're here too, remember when I went straight up, his feet could hook underneath. Okay, now I'm stuck. Put your feet underneath. Yep, now I'm kind of stuck here, right? When I displace here like this, go ahead and hook your feet, Armando. It's much more difficult for him to trap my hips. Go ahead and get up. Because my hips are canted like this. They're not straight up here where he has all this space. So what I want you guys to work on first is just a simple bridge. Move your knees side to side. Bridge to one side. Move your knees to the other side. Bridge to the other. Got it? All right, let's give it a shot. I'm going to unmute everybody just in case there are any questions. Oh, hey, Ashley, you're here. What did you sneak in? Leland, let's try not to do a shrimp. Okay, I want your hips up in the air and you're up on your shoulders. You're not turning your body like this at this point. You're just bumping side to side. Just like that.
All right.
Okay, it's a little bit better. Good. All right, time. Good job. Okay. Leland, you're St. John's, right?
What?
You go to St. John's?
No.
Did you start virtual school today?
Oh, yeah.
How's that going?
Eh,
Yeah.
that's all right. Only one teacher's posted anything so far, so.
No. All right, here we go. Let's go. Let's move on to a secondary bridge that I like to use. Once I find the screen again. Okay. Speakers. All right. I'm going to put you all on mute while I talk about this. All right. So the one that we just covered, okay, and I'll give you a chance to do them with your partner. That's more for like an elbow escape from the mount. Okay. This is one that I use when I'm looking to bump and roll, where I'm trapping the arm and trapping the foot. All right. So the bridge that I use here is going to rely on my head to pendulum this way. Does everybody see how my head moves? Okay. So if my head moves to the right, my knees are now going to point left, and I'm going to roll up like this, back to the center. My head moves to the right, okay? Or sorry, my head moves to my left. My knees are going to point to the right. I'm going to bump up this way and switch. And switch. All right, let's give that a shot.
I'm gonna need to take my dogs out really quick.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. It's just gonna be really loud. So.
Good, everybody looks good. That, turn around so I can see your head a little bit. I can see your head movement. Turn with your head facing the camera, Zach, so I can see your head movement. Austin, you guys are looking good. Yeah, that's, so Zach, if your head goes to your left, you're gonna bump to your right.
Okay.
Goes left, bump right.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
I know, it's like chewing gum and walking. Or what's
Yeah.
that? And rub your tummy. I obviously can't do that. All right. Good. Time. Look at me. So most of you have partners today, so this will be good. Let me show you the practical application of that particular bridge, and then the first bridge we'll go into the practical application later once I teach the shrimping techniques. All right. So I want to do the bump and roll. Okay. Most people see the bump and roll as bumping their hips straight up and then trying to roll. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and get off for a second, Armando. I want to move my head this way. I want to bump my hips up and be able to turn all the way over onto my knees. So if I go the other way, I'm here. I'm bumping my hips up, pushing off with my far leg, and then I'm transitioning that pressure to my near leg, coming right up to my knees. And that goes the same for the first bump that we learned. When the knees go out here, right? Either I don't pendulum my head, I'm up, and I'm over. I'm trying to get from a bottom position to a top position. Okay? So think about it in those terms. All right, Armando, come here. For the head pendulum, I usually only use position. Can everybody see my screen? Okay. So this is the basic bump and roll. Okay, I hook the arm. Okay, I hook the foot. Now, if I just shift my knees and roll forward, Armando can post this far arm and stop. So if I just shift and roll, see how his arm is locked out. He's able to use skeletal strength to counteract my movement. Okay. What the head pendulum does is it changes the angle just enough I can get him to bend the elbow, where he goes from using skeletal strength to muscular strength. So when I pendulum my head, and then I bump, watch what happens to his arm. You see his arm? See how it bends? Now I can come up on top. If you're able to remember that, you're going to have a much higher success rate in escaping the mount using the bump and roll. Let me show it again. So I'm hooking the arm, hooking the same side to it. Okay? If I don't pendulum my head, his arm's locked out straight, I'm stuck. When I pendulum my head, I get this bend in his arm. Okay? And I'm up on top. Okay? So when I'm teaching, I like to distinguish skeletal strength from muscular strength, right? Anytime you can use skeletal strength, it's very efficient. That means your joints are lined up because our skeletons are meant to hold a lot of weight. It's like on bench press, when I'm holding a weight up here like this, I can hold a lot more weight with my arms straight. As soon as I start to bend the weight, things start to get a little more difficult. All right? So if you have a partner, grab them and do it. If you don't have a partner, just work on the pendulum, the bump, come over your knees. Okay, let's try that.
Yeah, on your 2 weeks rotation. Yeah.
Yeah, so what are we doing?
So we're doing the along here, right? Like we're hooking the arm and dropping the foot, bumping my hips up and over, and I'm coming all the way to the knee. Right? So if I have Mondo on top of me, it would be this one right here. Okay? Hook the foot, pendulum my head, bump, and roll. Austin, where are you guys at?
The lawn.
We're on the lawn.
Not you, actually. You always think I'm talking. Austin, where are you guys?
We're at our shop, beauty shop on McDill.
Nice. Okay, are there any questions so far on those techniques? All right. Let's talk about the wrestling bridge and when I use that. I use that bridge for a, you drinking wine, Zach?
Yeah, Pinot.
All right. I use that bridge for an arm lock escape. Okay. It's kind of a last-ditch effort arm lock escape. But that's typically when I'll use it. All right. Armando, show them the wrestling bridge again. It's where you're bridging up onto your head all the way like that. Now, how I want you to do it for the purpose of this drill is we're going to modify it a little bit. Go ahead and stay back for a second. So I'm going to bump up. Let's pretend that he's taking this arm, right? I'm going to bump all the way up onto my head. I'm going to turn my thumb out, okay? Roll to my opposite side shoulder and turn over like this onto my knees. So if he's taking this arm, right? I'm turning the thumb out, bridging up onto my head, and turning over onto my knees. Now, you'll see a lot of jiu-jitsu players keep their shoulders on the floor to do this escape. Okay, so they'll do it something more like this. Arm gets taken, they bump their hips up, they stay on their shoulders the whole time, and don't go to their head, right? That's fine if you have really flexible shoulders. What I found over the years is I never use that escape because my shoulders are super tight. So come here, Armando. When I have somebody take my arm, okay, go ahead and give me this side. So one, I only use this as a last ditch effort, right? So I'd rather be here with my arm covered than trying to escape the arm lock, getting my elbow to the floor. However, sometimes the position breaks down and maybe you only have this grip and you know they're gonna break it, okay? So if he breaks the grip and I let him take the arm back, what are my options now? If I wait too late, I'm stuck. So I need to anticipate that this position is over and start this roll even before I let go of the hands, okay? But now if I stay on my shoulders and I do it, and I turn my elbow out, sometimes my arm gets stuck here because it's not flexible enough. And they're still able to pull this in and catch the arm lock. What I find is that going up onto my head gives me a little more clearance. So if I'm here like this, now he's not able to finish the arm lock the way that he wants, and I'm out of the position. Okay, let's do it again. So we're here, right? I would love to have this grip, but I don't. I'm starting to lose it for whatever reason, okay? As soon as I go, I come up on my head, not onto my shoulders, and I turn my thumb away from him. Some people call it the hitchhiker escape too. Okay, thumb out escape, hitchhiker escape, whatever you want to call it. I don't care, just do it right. We're here, okay? Up on the head, turning my body, walking into him, and escaping the arm lock. All right, any questions on that? You guys ready to try it? Okay, if you have a partner, do it with your partner. If you don't have a partner, it's just gonna look like this. You let go, up on your head, turn your thumb away, walk your feet over. All right?
Hey, Lane. Lane,
Yeah.
are you turning in or out?
That's a good question. I'm turning out. So Austin has his right arm locked, right? So you're going to be rotating over your left shoulder as you go up. So his legs are going to be coming to his left. So go ahead and, yes, just like that. Now turn to your left and bring your right, yes. You bring your right leg over the top. Perfect. So Zach, you're going.
So you rotate it.
This, and then you're walking toward the arm. Okay, this, and I'm going to walk over. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to walk over the opposite shoulder.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do it again.
So taking like the long way around.
Yes.
Okay.
Be careful about forcing it on
Yep. And that's the shoulder bridge. If you can't, you might be on a hard floor, but use the head bridge just to give your shoulders more clearance.
On tile, otherwise I would.
I thought, man, that might be Okay. How are we feeling with that one? Good. Good. Good escape. Again, I don't like to use that as my primary, but that's like my secondary parachute, right? So if I'm in trouble, I'm going to get arm locked. I want to use that escape to get away. All right? Okay. Now we're probably going to talk about what I think is the most important move in jiu-jitsu, which is shrimp. A lot of times we do the shrimp in class, but you'll do it as a warm-up. Nobody's really teaching it. You don't have much of a chance to get into detail on the shrimp, right? There's essentially two kinds of shrimp. There's a sliding shrimp, which is what you do down in class. This. And then there's a power shrimp, where I'm bumping my hips up, rotating over my shoulder, and moving my hips out. In both positions, I should end up in a 90-degree angle. So let me put you all on mute. We'll go through this real quick. Okay. All right. So the sliding shrimp. Okay. I'm here, right? 1 foot post. I still want to rock up onto my shoulder like this, but I want my hips just barely coming up off the ground. You can't really see it here, but the only 2 points of contact are my feet and my shoulders. So what a lot of people do when they start shrimping is they turn here like this and their butt's still on the ground. So maybe they can't shrimp their body out far enough, or this foot slides. Okay. So I need to lift my hips up just slightly so I can bring my hips to where my head is. Okay, a good measure for that is if I bring my arms out here like this, I get kind of a line of where my hips should end up. Okay, so if I'm going to shrimp this way, my hips should end up back here to where my arm was stretched out. Right, so I should be shrimping at a 90-degree angle. All right. The only other thing I want to add is that we need to keep our elbows in tight. I don't want to shrimp with my arms way out. So when I'm doing my sliding shrimp, I'm shrimping here, right? My arms and elbows are inside. My knee is kind of connecting to my hip or my elbow, right? And I'm moving my body back like this. Okay, because the goal of the shrimp is to escape side control or mount most of the time, as well as set up sweeps and stuff like that. So my arms are staying inside, right? My elbows connecting in here near my hip. I'm pushing through, right? Like I'm trapping a leg. So for example, if Armando is on top of me mounted, go to mount. Right? I'm going to be here like this, right? I'm using my shrimp. I'm moving my body out. I'm bringing this knee through. So that's what we're trying to mimic. So here, here, sliding out, here. The only difference between the sliding shrimp and the power shrimp is I'm bumping my hips a little bit more. So I'm elevating my hips up off the ground, right? I'm coming up onto my shoulder and I'm pushing my hips backwards. One more thing that's really important on the shrimp is my shoulder position, okay? So a lot of people will shrimp here and this shoulder will never cross their bottom shoulder. So my back is still exposed to the mat. What I want you to do is when you shrimp, think about this shoulder coming in front of the lower shoulder. Like this. So my chest is now facing the mat. All right? The reason that's important, a lot of people will shrimp and they'll continue to get flattened out. So come here in my side control, Armando. So when Armando's here in my side control, right? A lot of people will shrimp, they'll move their hips, but then they continue to get stuck on their back. All right, let's move down this way just a little bit. So the moment I know I've got a great shrimp is when I'm able to cross this shoulder in front of my lower shoulder. Okay, now I know I have the space that I need to start to replace guard. A good illustration of why this is so important, go ahead and put your hands on my shoulder, Armando. Okay, so if I'm shrimped like this and this shoulder is trailing my bottom shoulder, if Armando just pushes his hands to the mat, there's nothing I can do to stop my back from going to the mat. If my back's flat on the mat, it's always a bad position for me. Okay? Now, if I just move this shoulder a little bit further to here, now when Armando pushes, he can't push my back to the mat. Go ahead and stand up on your feet, Armando. He can't push my back to the mat. Okay? So that's a little bit of the invisible magic of jiu-jitsu that like a black belt might be doing to you that you're not doing. And therefore it makes their position a lot more effective than what you're doing currently. Okay? So right now, we're gonna add some scenarios to the shrimp, but I just want you to work on the two types of shrimp. A sliding shrimp, remember both are hips off the floor, just one is barely hovering. The other one is the power shrimp, which starts just like the power bridge. I'm displacing the weight, I'm turning my body out, making sure this shoulder's in front of my bottom shoulder, right? My elbow's connected to my hips, and I'm moving an imaginary knee through an imaginary opponent's legs. Okay, so let's do that, and then we'll talk about the practical applications of both of these. Robbie Frazier in the house.
Yeah, 15 minutes, so I figured I'd check, see what you're doing.
You're still working hard, I see.
Always.
Yeah.
Hey, Robbie.
You want
That's better than your normal.
All right, good job. Let's talk about the practical application, and those of you who have a partner can do it with your partners. Are there any questions on those movements so far? All right, cool. Okay. So let's start with the sliding shrimp. All right. The sliding shrimp is when my opponent has very little pressure on me and I need to move right before he does get pressure. Okay. So it may be somebody who's my side control and they just don't have me down very tight, right? I've got a little bit of space to move. I can slide my hips real quick, get my knee in, and then I start to work to get back to my guard. All right. Maybe that Armando just passed my guard. I was in the process of passing my guard. Before he settles in, I do a quick slide and I get back into position. Okay. So the sliding shrimp is if somebody has a loose side control or before they have the opportunity to settle in. All right. The power shrimp, on the other hand, is going to be two different scenarios. One is where Armando's here and he's got a tight side control. So tighten up your side control, Armando. Okay, and I can't really move my hips today. Okay. Right. So if we switch position here, just jump to the other side. All right. So if you see Armando here, his knee is up against my hip. So if I just try to slide and shrimp, I don't have the space to get in. Okay. Preferably, I like to put this arm inside on the chin. Right. So now when I do my power shrimp, when I move my knee, it works just like the power bridge. And I'm here like this. Watch what happens to his knee. Right. I'm driving into it this way. It goes out a little bit. Now I can get my shrimp and get my knee in. Okay. So from this angle, my hand is tight in here in a good position. Okay. Remember, I'm not shrimping. I'm not bumping just straight up on the power shrimp. Okay, because I don't want to bump into his weight. I want to redirect his weight. So my shrimp is up and this way to take some of his pressure off of my hip. I want to move his body toward the camera. Okay, so I'm here and I'm power shrimping up like this, moving my hips up and bringing my knee through. And then, of course, I would use a sliding shrimp here to finish locking up my guard. All right. One more variation. Sometimes we're here, I just can't move immediately. Or let's say I get my arm stuck out here on this side. Does everybody see where my arm is on his head? Okay, this is very dangerous because you can catch arm locks and all that stuff. Okay. If I have a gi on, it can go through and just cut the belt. It prevents him from taking the arm. Okay. So sometimes I'll use this variation when I'm kind of stuck out here and I think it might be in danger because it's a good assist, right? Other times I'll use it if I just can't move him and escape. I'm going to take a little bit of, okay, by putting my arm out here. It's very dangerous to do against this opponent, but it can help me shift his weight. So as I bump here, I'm going to use this arm to throw his head this way. So I'm here like this. And I bump and I redirect it like this. Now it gives me space to bring my knee. So here's what I want you to do. I want loose side control, sliding shrimp. Just get the knee in. Place guard all the way if you want, that's fine. I want the opponent passing guard or pretending like somebody's passing the guard before they settle in, sliding shrimp. Okay? And I want the two power shrimps. Here, I'm redirecting the weight like this, power shrimp, and then arm is stuck outside, up, redirecting his weight. You see how I'm throwing this arm over? Power shrimp. Got it?
Got it.
All right. Any questions before you begin? Okay, cool. Let's give it a shot. Hiding the sound of my elbow. Yeah. All the moves that you want to do in a regular class. Just basic fundamentals, you know.
I know my phone. No, you're gonna do the motion. So you're gonna no, not do it. Now we're gonna do
Okay, time. How are we all doing? You guys need more time on that? Are we good?
That give you more distance to go on.
With that? Somebody have a question? All right. So let's talk about how we use the power shrimp and sliding shrimp from the mounted position as well. Okay. So when Armando's on top of me and mount, I talked earlier about, we did the bump and roll. Okay. We can also use a power shrimp and use the elbow escape as well. All right. So when I'm here and he's positioned on top of me, one thing that I want to do is hold the frame with my hands or with my forearms against his hips. Okay? Now, I don't want to keep my elbow out here like this because I don't want him to scoop my arm out and trap it. So I've always got to keep my elbows tight, like we talked about with shrimping. Okay? So if I'm going to use the power shrimp, put your hands on the floor, Armando. Okay? Again, I'm not shrimping up, I'm displacing his weight. Okay? So I'm going to rotate my knees to my right, I'm going to bump him to my right. Here like this. Okay, once that happens, now I have this frame on his leg to bring my knee through. Right? I get my underhook, I hook his trailing leg. Now I do a sliding shrimp to finish and put him back in the guard. So I'm here, I'm framing, right? I'm bumping out to the side to displace his weight. Okay, before I set my hips back down, I move them through the space, putting my shin on his hips, getting my underhook with this back leg. I'm trapping his leg, right? Now I'm using my sliding shrimp, come the rest of the way around. Okay, I'll do that variation by itself, or sometimes I'll combine. I probably have the most success combining the bump and roll and the power shrimp. Because the first part of the bump and roll is essentially the same as the first part of the power shrimp, except for I'm trapping his arms. So I'm here like this, right? I'm hooking the foot, I'm hooking the arm, using my pendulum, right? And I'm bumping, but for whatever reason, it doesn't work. As soon as I know it doesn't work, I bring my elbows in, I go right into my power shrimp, my sliding shrimp, and I lock him down. So one more time. I go bump and roll. Here, I come up, I pendulum the head. I'm here. Before I set my hips back down, I decide this isn't working. I'm going to my power shrimp. I'm pushing his leg through, right? Trapping his far leg, and I'm using the sliding shrimp to finish the position. Okay, so when you're doing it solo, it's gonna look a little bit like this. I'm here, trap the arm, trap the foot, move my head, bump my hips up. Uh-oh, not working. Shoot my hips out. Go to my power shrimp, right? Trap the leg. Go to my sliding shrimp. Lock him in, okay? Trap the leg, trap the arm, pendulum. Here, not working, power shrimp. Here, sliding through, trapping his leg. Sliding shrimp, finish, and lock him up, right? I'm just doing the elbow escape using the power shrimp. I'm building my frame. Power shrimp, hips out, sliding the leg through, trap, shrimp, sliding, and back. All right, let's drill those two variations. The Terminators joined us.
Lane, which back foot are you blocking?
Which back foot am I blocking? Okay, so when I come here and I come, right, slide this through, okay, I'm gonna trap this leg.
Okay.
So that way this leg is free to trim, to do my sliding through. All the way.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
So instead of that top knee there, I can't see who's on the bottom. But yeah, instead of the top knee, you bring the bottom knee through. Okay? So you're doing this. You're doing this. You're bumping up like this, and then you're sliding this top knee through. I want to bring the bottom knee through. So when I bump up like this, the bottom knee comes through. So the
Okay.
You guys see that?
Yep.
I'm going to trap with the leg, right, start to move my hips out, and then work my sliding shrimp. Try it that way. All right, y'all. How are we feeling about that? Any questions?
Feel good?
All right, good. So ultimately, what we want to do with these drills is we want to use them to get better. You 100% can get better doing the solo drills, right? It gives us a chance to focus on something we really don't get to focus on in class all that much. Now, of course, with grappling arts, you still need the physical resistance at some point, but you can absolutely get better at movement. So as we build through this progression, I want you guys to think about like what really good shadow boxers do in boxing and kickboxing. They're pretending like there's an opponent there. They're seeing what the opponent's doing and they're reacting. So as we start to add more drill, you're going to have more opportunities to kind of mimic a live grappling match in your head, right? So for example, I may be starting here and mount. I go to my bump, right? Oh, I come up, I can't get the bump. Boom, I'm working on my sliding shoot. I'm in guard. Maybe I know a sweep. Let's say it's scissor step. Boom. I come up on top. Now I'm mimicking stuffing the foot and maybe knee cutting through. Okay. Now I mount. Okay. Boom. I get rolled from mount. He switches out to side control. Now I'm working on my power shrimp here. Coming through. Ready? I can start to kind of like play along in my head of grappling. So the deeper we get into this, the more movement options you're going to have, and the more you can kind of visualize in your head an opponent. And it's going to make you a stronger grappler if you focus on these things. Plus, this really gives me the opportunity to go into my new detail on these basic patterns of movement that we never really get to cover in class because we're so caught up with technique, live drills, and live training. All right. Any questions from anybody so far? Okay. Any thoughts or feedbacks on the class?
The only thing, is there a way to like lock your screen as the large screen? Just because it would like flip back and forth.
Yes, there is. If you
From your end?
I know how to do it. If you double tap his thing, it'll bring it up as a pinned video.
Okay. Are you on the
Okay.
computer, Leland, or are you on a phone?
I'm on computer.
Okay. On the phone, is anybody able to do that on the phone? Double tap my screen real quick.
I'm trying to figure it out. It's not working. It's not working for us.
Okay.
I'm on the computer and I got it to pin, but I'm not sure from a phone.
Okay.
I can't do it on the phone.
Can't do it on the phone. What about when I mute everybody? If everybody goes on mute.
Yeah.
So everybody's on mute now. Do you see just my screen? It's funny, I can't hear you all. I just see you moving your heads. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Even when it was muted during the class though, I think it would still rotate.
Well, I think some part of the problem is I don't think everybody got muted.
Okay.
Could be user error on my end, just getting used to it. Or it could be that people didn't accept the mute on their phone. So real quick, when I mute you all that last time, did you have to like hit accept or anything to be muted?
No.
Everybody got muted?
No.
So probably what I'm doing is I'm confusing my buttons here because two of them pop up when I do that. Excuse me. Let me get back to the screen here real quick. Where did it go? Okay, there we go. Two things. I'm probably confusing my unmute all with my mute all button. Is this time? Good. Everybody's muted. I can double check that. We're good to go. And I'm the main screen, right? Okay. Now everybody's unmuted. I'm probably just forgetting to mute.
That's what it is.
So that's just user error on my end. That's going to get better with time. All right. Also, it's like 1 o'clock, so I got to wrap up. But if you guys want to do, last night I had time to go through a rucksack workout, which is what I like to do. I can kind of show it to you real quick if you're interested, and then you guys can do it on your own, setting your own parameters and however many rounds that you want. The standard I set for the class last night, 30 seconds on, and then 30 seconds rest. And I set my timer. And we're going to do it for 3 rounds. We ran out of time, did it for 2. You could do it for 6 rounds, or you could shorten the rest to 10 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever. But let me just give you some ideas. If you have a backpack that's filled with books or weights, some of you guys have like kettlebells and weight room accessories. You can use that stuff too. But the ruck is really awesome. All right. So I'm going to go through the workout, just the sections real quick. And again, I would do these for like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off to start. And then if that's easy, then you can adjust it as you go. Okay. So I have several of these workouts. The first one starts with a kettlebell swing, right? So I've got my pack here. Okay, I've got about 40 pounds of weight in this pack. You can use however much you can get in there. Be careful with like sharp tools and stuff, and try to strap down the weight so it's not flying all over. But I'm just gonna do a basic kettlebell swing, right? I do that for 30 seconds, okay? Last night, we did upright rows. Today, we're gonna work bent over rows for the next 30 seconds. All right? You can put the pack on your back and do squats like we did last night. Today, we're gonna do front squats with the pack. So I strap the pack on like this, okay? Can hold it however I want and work my front squats, okay? You can do push-ups with the pack or without the pack. With the pack, 30 seconds of push-ups is gonna be a lot, all right? Now today we're gonna do burpees as well, okay? So I would have my pack here. I would just set it down, do a burpee motion, and then just come up to this position. Down, burpee, come up, all right? And then we're gonna put the packs on our back and just do a plank hold for 30 seconds. Okay, I'm here holding my plank. Last night we brought the knees up. Okay, you can also do sit-throughs with your burpees or with your backpack on. Nice and controlled, because this is gonna get hard on your core. Okay, you wanna make sure that your shoulders and everything are protected. And just do that for as many rounds as you're comfortable. And if you want to throw in on top of it a 400-meter run at the beginning or the end to warm up, or as you know, the end of your exercise, all the better. You can do this workout outside with your sneakers on and then go hit the run right away. Got it? Cool. Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining. I'm going to leave you guys with this, and I've stressed this in my classes so far. I'm going to release a video about it too. You know, it's really easy to get in the pattern when we're on lockdown to sit around and kind of feel sorry for yourself. All of us are going through periods of uncertainty and fear. And I've certainly sat around a little bit and felt sorry for myself as well. You know, it's a scary time. But when you think about adversity, you think about the great stories that come out of adversity, right? It's your biggest opportunity for personal growth. Anytime you're going through any type of adversity. When I look back through tough patches in my life, I've grown. But the only way I've grown is because I had a positive attitude about it eventually, right? We all have our days. We all have our moments. But I want you all to do 3 things, okay? I want you to use this adversity to get better, right? Not only can we hone in on little details of jiu-jitsu, and if you keep along with these classes, we're going to build upon what we taught. We're going to get better in class, right, in jiu-jitsu. But I also want you to think about how you can get better at your personal relationships, okay? How you can get better at maybe putting away money for a rainy day like today, you know? How you can get better at your family relationships, all those things. Okay, so we want to get better. We also want to get stronger, you know? We can get stronger physically, right? Okay, and these kind of play on each other, right? I get better, I get stronger. I get stronger physically, I get stronger mentally. I get stronger bonds and relationships with those that I love and care about, you know? So, you know, we can do all of these things during this time when we don't have anything else to focus on, okay? We can watch our diet. We can stay mentally strong. right? Right now I'm setting a time for me. I bought a bunch of ice cream last weekend, and I love like peanut butter and chocolate, that Moose Tracks ice cream. So I'm like saving, I look at it every day and I'm like, man, I can't wait till Saturday night because that's my night to throw down. But for now, during the week, my personal choice is I eat a lot of keto during the week. But Saturday night is my meal where I throw down. So like I'm setting a goal to like, if I'm good, I get my workout in, I get that reward at the end of the week. Whatever it takes to kind of mentally get you through this and trick you, you know? But, you know, I want to see everybody get through this healthier, happier, you know, stronger, and just better. All right. Any questions?
All good.
All right. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you joining. All right. See you next time.
Appreciate it, Lane.
Uh-huh.
Say, Lane.
Bye, guys. Bye, Leland.